Allah can, without dying. You see, that is the beauty of Allah and Islam.
Adam and Eve had salvation before the fall.
You know, when you talk, I did not talk over you, I listen to you. So what I'm saying is that this is a limitation of the Christian God, that He is unable to forgive without dying. I'll give you a specific verse from the Bible to prove this. In Hebrews chapter 9, verse 22, it says there is no forgiveness without the shedding of blood. Whose blood? No, whose blood? God's blood.
Christ, the incarnate Christ.
That's God, fully God for you. Yes? So your fully God had to die for you to be forgiven.
Do you know why?
Wait, no, I'm not asking why. I'm asking, is it possible for Him to forgive you without dying?
I don't know because I...
There you go, limitation.
No, that's my limitation because I don't
know. No, it's in your Bible. The limitation is enshrined in this verse.
There is none. It doesn't say there cannot be.
It says, no.
It says,
I just read the verse to you.
There is no salvation without the shedding of blood.
No, there is, no. You did not even listen. Listen to it. It says there is no forgiveness without the shedding of blood.
Right.
No forgiveness.
It doesn't say there cannot
Wait.
be.
No forgiveness means what?
It means it will not
means
happen.
there can be forgiveness or no forgiveness means
happen.
Exactly. What will not happen? Forgiveness.
No.
What will not happen? The forgiveness will not happen unless and until the blood of your God is shed.
Yes.
Human blood. Yes. Human sacrifice.
Not human blood.
Oh yeah, God's sacrifice in her case. Because most Christians I spoke to, they told me he was a man and that's the reason he died. But you
heard it wrong.
No.
No Christian believes he was just a man.
I didn't say just a man. I said it is a...
Sound like it.
No, I said what they are saying is that it is because he was a man, he was able to die.
No,
but UK are saying because he is God, it is who died.
And make it seem
Because
as if I'm a minority.
No, I didn't say you're a minority. I said
let me tell you
how your statement is different to theirs.
No,
that's all I'm saying.
It's not because he's a man or because he's God. It's because he is the Lamb of God sent as a sacrifice to atone for the Mosaic law, as a parallel. So the Mosaic law was if you sin, you must kill this lamb. And God knew that they couldn't keep those laws. None of them could keep them in.
Where does it say in the Bible none of them can keep this law?
No, imperfection. They can't keep them in.
Yeah, but what do you mean imperfection? Do you?
I mean in entirety.
Does God require?
Laws,
Okay.
ordinances, and commandments.
So you're telling me that God expects everyone? No. Listen to the question first, Kay. Does God actually require of everyone to keep the 613 laws to perfection in order to attain salvation? Did God ever make that statement? And if He did not make the statement, why do you apply this to everyone then?
These are my answers to those three questions. One, God gave those commandments to be followed. He didn't give them as a maybe. He didn't say if you feel like it, He said, this is your law, I am your God. There is no other God, and I am telling you. So as believers, both of us, I can accept without it being explicitly there that if God tells me you will do these things, I will do those things if I am able. But because I have got no goodness or perfection in and of myself, those works and prohibitions were there to bring me closer to God through works. Whereby the new covenant comes and says, the new covenant tells me that by no means will any man be justified by works, lest any man should boast. It is by faith alone that you are saved, in Christ alone.
Shall I show you what James actually said? James actually says it's by works. James actually said that without works, faith without works is dead. Yes.
The other way around. So you get the faith. In Galatians, we're told that the Holy Spirit conforms into the image of Christ. And once you are conformed or continually being reformed into the image, then obviously you don't want to break God's commandments. Nobody's putting him aside. But Hebrew Israelites and Jews, they don't believe in salvation by blood or forgiveness by the sacrifice of another. Whereas the Quran says one cannot take the burden of another. And I take that to mean sin.
Yes.
You see what I mean? So that's where you maybe agree with.
So what James said, let's read what James says. So James in the book of James, chapter 2, verse 14 to 17 says, "What good is it, my brothers, if someone says he has faith, but does not have works?" Okay. Yes? Because earlier you said faith saves you, but here James is saying the other way around. So James is basically asking this question. If someone says he has faith but does not have works, can that faith save him?
By your fruits you will know them.
Let him finish this. Let's finish the statement what he said. Can the faith save him? And he goes further to say, he says, if a brother or a sister is poorly clothed and lacking in daily food, and one of you says to them, go in peace, be warmed and filled, without giving them the things needed for the body, what good is that? So also faith by itself, if it does not have works, is dead.
Okay, so can I answer that in 2 points?
Yeah, go on.
One point would be, you said, so can faith alone save you? So without works. So if, just for example, a hypothetical, if somebody receives salvation on their deathbed, they literally don't move, they accept Christ, they receive salvation, they have salvation without any works.
Yeah, that's an exception, you know?
Yes,
that's not the rule.
Of course.
That's not the rule.
My answer would be, by your fruits will you know them. The Holy Spirit produces works, not as a means to salvation. You cannot be saved by works.
But did you understand James's statement?
Did. It was a question that he made.
What is
it's not a statement, it's a question.
No, he made a statement. Did you hear it? Shall I read it again?
If you like.
Okay, because it's very clear. It says, for example, if a poor man came to you, yes, he has no clothes to wear, and he has no food, and you just tell him, okay, go be warm. No, hear me out, okay, please. Please, it's very important, because this statement of James actually hits the nail on the head. And he says that just by you saying good works to a poor man, it's not something that is going to fill him, yes, fill his stomach, who is hungry, or clothe him when he has no clothes to wear, yes. It doesn't work like that. You actually have to give him food, and you have to give him clothes, and that is your works, and which will save you. It's not just your faith that, okay, you have this intention that he might be warm, even though you don't give him any clothes, and that he might not go hungry, even though you don't give him any. It's not just your intention. You actually have to implement those works. And wait, it says in Revelation, it's both. No. Works and faith, both of them go hand in hand.
Yes, they go hand in hand, because
not one.
Listen,
that's exactly what Islam says as well.
If an atheist does good works until the end of
and has no faith,
they will not be saved. Even if they come to faith, it won't be the works that
which is exactly what I said. Both have to be there. Faith and works.
But the good works mean nothing. They literally, it says in a different
No, good works without faith means nothing. Exactly. However, with faith and no works means nothing as well.
Because if you have faith in Christ, who told you the poor will always be with you. If somebody wants your something, give them something else. Go an extra mile. Do all these things. Love them.
So maybe we are talking about the same thing in a different way. Because what James... No. I said both are important.
They're important. But for salvation, only faith.
No. That's not true. This is exactly what James says here. Let's read what Revelation says. And I saw the dead, great and small, standing before the throne. And books were opened. Another book was opened, which is the book of life. The dead were judged according to what they had done, as recorded in the books. What they had done is actually the works. And this is in Revelation chapter 20, verse 12. Now, both James and in the book of Revelation, it shows the importance of the works. And in another verse, it says the Father looks at everyone's works. Again, telling you the importance of work. It's not just faith. I said both are important. So if you just have faith and you're not doing any work, it's not something that's going to be accepted of you. And if you have only works but no faith, like the atheist you mentioned, then again it will fail you. That's the reason both the niyyah, the faith, and the belief in Allah and the one God, and also the works, the good deeds you do, both are important.
So I am suggesting to you that the good works come as a result of the faith, because a selfish man without faith has no need to overcome his own self.
And that's why I said both are important. Just like you said, the good works come from the faith.
Without faith, you have no grace, and it's by grace that you are saved.
That's why I said both, Kay. I'm not disputing what you're saying. I'm saying both are important, and this is quite important that we look at both rather than one.
Who's just about to die, who receives salvation, is in no way lesser in the kingdom.
Okay, so now let's go back to the limitation. You know, you mentioned, we already know that you don't have anything definitive in the Bible about Christmas in terms of date. The nativity itself is only in the book of Matthew. Why didn't anybody else say?
What are you talking about?
Really?
Yes.
You mean just the birth of Jesus?
Yes, that's called the nativity.
Okay, if you want to call that nativity, that's fine, but we still don't have the date.
So when you say only Matthew, you have to include the Quran as well.
No, but if you're going to believe from the Quran, then you should also reject.
I don't believe from the Quran.
Exactly, so don't bring it in then.
No, but you're a Muslim, so I want
I know.
to know.
But when as Muslims, we do not celebrate even the birth of Prophet Muhammad as the way the Christians do for the birth of Jesus Christ.
Nobody celebrates the birth the way Christians do on the birth of Jesus Christ. Everyone would know.
But today Christmas is not the birth of Christ, you know that.
Obviously.
Exactly. So I agree with you.
Every day.
No one celebrates it like that. Yes.
Christ.
Now the birth of Christ today, the 25th of December, has become a commercialized.
Yes.
What do you say? It's become commercialized in the sense that today all these large corporations, they make mega bucks from this so-called celebrating the birth of Jesus, but not really celebrating the birth of Jesus. It has just become a date on a calendar when people are looking forward to a holiday and a lot of sales maybe. And this commercial, these big large corporations, they love this date, not because of Jesus' birth. So Christmas, the spirit of Christmas is probably gone a long time ago. Today Santa Claus has now become more, prominent than Jesus Christ. If you ask me, the amount of times that Santa Claus has been on our screens, not just Coca-Cola. It's all these corporations. Exactly, that's what I meant. So all these corporations, they basically want to portray Santa Claus everywhere because they believe that he brings presents, and guess where the parents get the presents from? From the large corporations. So obviously they will promote him rather than Jesus.
We have a younger, so if there may, I can't shatter dreams like that. I just don't.
You actually believe in Santa Claus?
There are children around, I would like.
Okay, these are Muslim children. I'm sure they don't believe in this.
Santa.
Sorry?
I don't believe in Santa.
You heard that?
I did hear that.
So that little girl is saying she doesn't believe in Santa. Look, there are many little girls who are not Muslims who don't believe in Santa or the Tooth Fairy either. But there are many who do. But that's a lie that the parents are spreading. Do you think they should stop? And the Santa Claus. Do you think the parents should stop spreading these lies?
I'll give you a genuine answer.
Go on. You're a parent, right?
Yes,
That's why it's fair to ask you.
I believe that for children to grow up into adults who can believe in concepts like love and mercy and justice and faith, all things we cannot see, I believe that those small falsehoods encourage an imagination and grasping the unseen nature of the world. Because if we were purely materialist and only believed the evidence of our own eyes, we would all be in trouble. So I think that justice and mercy and faith and love are unseen attributes of a loving God, and therefore...
And where does Santa fit in there?
It's a story for children in order for them to believe in supernatural things.
Let me ask you something.
That's my answer.
Okay, let me ask you something. If I was in your place and I was actually a Christian, I would instead of relying on stories of lies like Santa Claus, I would rather give the story
about Muhammad going up on a donkey to heaven.
Look, I did not disturb you when you were talking. You're doing it again. When you talked, I kept quiet. I expect the same courtesy from you. Okay, so I wouldn't, if I was a parent, I would definitely not use lies or stories which are lies to basically motivate my children and tell them stories of love, kindness, honesty, about miracles even. I would rather use stories, yes, from the Quran, from the Sunnah, from the stories of the prophets, and there are quite a few. And I believe that they are also in the Bible. So I would not use some fat man coming down in the middle of a night through the chimney, yes, and leaving gifts when those gifts were actually by the hard-earned money of their parents and not of some mysterious man coming down a chimney. Now wait. I would use these examples from your scripture, and I would use it. I personally would use it from my scriptures because I would not resort to lies to even motivate my kids. That is not something Islam teaches me. Yes, and that's why I'm saying parents today should realize that those children whom you have lied to, regardless how good your intention was, when they grow up, they will look up and they will say, "You mom, why did you tell us a lie?" Many of them, when they realize Santa Claus is not real or the Tooth Fairy is not real, they're heartbroken. Little girls, little boys, they're heartbroken. You know why?
Well, you're doing such a case, you're tugging at my heartstrings.
No, but you know this is the fact. Yes, many of them, they grow up and they realize it's not true.
It's not preached by the church. It's not a Christian.
More reason not to include him in your fairy tales.
Listen, I don't eat carrots out or mince pies.
Thank God.
Myself. No,
Yes.
they're there. I just eat them myself.
So you still keep them.
That's why I'm carrying.
You keep them and you tell them this is for the Santa.
No. My
Cookies.
daughter's old enough to know.
Cookies and milk.
My daughter's old enough to know now.
All right, good.
The fact is that fairy tales and legends and the place where the sun sets and stories that can't be verified initially, unless we take the word of somebody, like a storyteller or somebody who's recounting actual facts. We have to have belief. Even
Which
if-
fairy tales? Are you saying the miracles which happen in the books in the scriptures are fairy tales?
No, I'm not. But I'm saying the
Okay,
sun.
as long as you're not implying.
No, I'm bringing something from the Quran, which I believe was like the tales of Alexander the Great, for example.
It wasn't Alexander the Great. You have heard it all wrong.
What was
You have heard
it?
exactly my point. You should
Where
go
does
and
the
read.
sun set,
Wait.
Come on, let's just cut to the chase. Where does the sun
First
set?
and foremost,
On Christmas.
I can tell you that as soon as you mention Alexander the Great, I know it is from hearsay.
Okay.
Am I right? So your story,
From hearsay.
No.
I never met Muhammad.
we got the Quran for your information. Have you read the Quran, Kay? Have you read the Quran?
Yes.
Right? So it is not hearsay then. It is from the Quran.
But you see my point. It's not from a first-hand source. It's a second-hand source.
Nothing from the Bible is the first hand.
Oh, I didn't claim it to be.
So why would you expect the
I
same?
didn't claim it to
No,
be.
but why do you want the same standard?
I
Sorry, a
don't want
different
that
standard from the Quran.
I don't want that
Yeah.
standard.
By the way, we have the hadiths, which are first.
Some of them
Wait.
are only
We have
some are
first hand.
sahih.
Hold on. Many are sahih. The first hand hadith. We have the chain of narration,
Yeah.
unlike the Bible. So even the ones which are weak hadiths, weak. You know what I mean by weak? Not the sahih hadiths. The ones which are the ones which are weak, daif. Yes. These even have a chain of narration going back to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Yes, of course, the chain of narration is not verified. That's why they have been rendered as weak. However, we have the Sahih Hadith. So even though the Hadiths were collected in 200 years plus after Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the chain of narration goes all the way to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, which clarifies to you that these sources, even though they come in chains of narration, they actually go back to the first hand source.
Right, two things.
Unlike the Bible.
With greatest respect,
Yeah.
if somebody that I care not for their opinion is faithfully repeated throughout the centuries, and you pass it to your person, and you're all trustworthy, if I don't agree with the initial source, it avails me.
Then you should tell us why you don't agree.
I haven't finished.
Simple as that.
I just some of the things I find contestable. But the other question is, I'm just asking genuinely, can Sahih Hadith be rendered less than with new information? Like, is there an ongoing process whereby some are elevated and some are? Do you see what I'm saying? Like, if someone had been slandered like Hafs,
No, I think with regards to the hadiths, yes, we have the scholars have pretty much
sealed the deal.
they are pretty much categorized them as sahih, daif, and mawdu, the ones which have been rejected. Now, I don't know of anyone where they have changed as more information came, because most of the information which was available is already there. And with regards, we have the Quran itself. The Quran is mutawatir. Yes, mutawatir means something that has been agreed upon by a large number of people. Yes, a consensus. Now, for this we have again sources which go back to the time of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Do you have anything like that with regards to the Bible from the first century? Nothing.
Obviously, the first century. You made a mistake there. You mean the second century?
No, the first
The
century.
first century, the New Testament was
Nothing at all, right?
completed from around 55 to 95. So that's the first century. Do you mean?
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
So do you have anything from the first century?
Yes.
What?
The New Testament.
Give me one.
The church.
Give me one manuscript from the first century.
One of the Gospels was AD 90.
Which one?
Do you know that the first?
No, I didn't ask you when it was. Listen, there's a difference between when it was.
Do you mean the original text?
I meant the
original
original. I meant the manuscripts. Yes, the manuscripts.
The way the confidence with which you ask the question leads me, as a non-biblical scholar expert, to suggest that possibly there aren't any.
Well, just say I don't know. You're more than welcome to say I don't know.
I'm going to go with your demeanour leads me to believe that.
No. No need to go with anything I portray.
I can
Go based on what your knowledge.
Yes. I'm not deficient.
Yeah. So even Bob the Builder, if you can ask him, he won't be able to produce anything from the first century. You can. If that's your friend to ask, no problem. That lifeline is open to you. Ask a friend. Okay. You can ask a friend, 50-50. What's the third one? I forget.
Ask the audience.
Yeah, ask the audience. You can ask the audience. No problem. Any Christians here who can answer that question about the manuscripts? Trust me, there isn't anyone. Okay. So you have people like James White who will tell you
The
this.
possibility that they will be discovered archaeologically at some point.
Yeah, but if they are not, then
would thought to not exist before, obviously.
yeah, even the Dead Sea Scrolls, are 1,000 years after Moses. So you have a gap of 1,000 years. That still doesn't prove the Old Testament. It is. It is. It is.
No, it shows corruption.
230 years.
Do you know the language of the New Testament in what it was revealed in? Yes.
Aramaic, Greek.
But do you know, are you sure? Which one?
I'm sure it's Greek.
Not Aramaic? That was the language of
It's a
Jesus.
spoken language. It's not a written
No,
language.
Aramaic, they have, it's called the Peshitta.
Like a cuneiform.
Wait, the Peshitta
Yeah.
is actually an Aramaic Bible.
Okay.
So don't tell me it's not written.
No, I didn't say it's not
Actually, you
written.
did. You said it's not written, it's oral. That's what you
The
said.
New Testament, as far as I know, it was in Greek. Originally
Yes.
transmitted.
When you say originally,
When I say transmitted, that's what
exactly. So the original language of the New Testament was.
Greek. It was transmitted in
So
Greek.
Jesus actually preached in Greek.
No, of course not. That's not.
So
the
let's
original.
talk.
You're talking about the
Do you know what the
original
original means?
I know.
Original means what Jesus preached in.
No, it doesn't. You
It
said
does?
the original language of a book, and the book was Greek.
Okay, so
the original language of Christ is a different question.
okay, so let me rephrase the question. What language did Jesus preach in?
Not have a vowel before.
Aramaic. So do you think the disciples? Okay, let me ask you. Did the disciples ever write it down?
Ever wrote what down? His words.
The teachings of Jesus.
Yes.
So-
they wrote his words.
So when they wrote his words, in which language?
I believe Greek.
Okay.
Not them though. because
So in other words, they had to translate from Aramaic to Greek.
after Paul, I believe when after the resurrection, yeah, I believe that they began to transmit it in Greek. The church, the letters from Paul were not in Greek. He was from Tarsus, so his letters would be in his own language. Apart from when he used scribes, and they would be in the language like a lingua franca. Whomever they were sending those letters
So Aramaic or Hebrew?
or Greek.
All Greek.
Yeah.
Okay, so the original language, most likely from Jesus, when he preached the Gospels, was Aramaic.
Yes.
Okay, when you translate from Aramaic to Greek, do you think things got lost in translation?
I tell you what, I think got lost in translation.
Yeah.
The same as with the Hebrew,
Yeah.
is that there were plays on words. There were lots of puns or use of
Like the
words
Son of God.
No,
No?
no, that's not my point.
Because the Hebrews understand different
You're
ways, Son of God.
interrupting me when allegedly you never interrupt, so that would be my point.
You know how that feels now, okay?
I don't mind. I don't mind.
Then don't stop
so
me.
My point is that when there are puns, they can like the funniness or the word play can be lost.
Not puns, proverbs. So certain things, like for example,
literal puns,
No.
jokes played into the language.
well,
Yes.
how many jokes are there in the New Testament?
I'm not saying they're like rollers on the floor. I'm not saying that.
Give me one joke you remember.
LMAO, it's not.
Give me one pun you remember, go on.
I'm not Hebrew. That's my point.
You don't have to be Hebrew.
That's my-
They must be translated into Greek.
No, I'm saying there are plays on words,
Okay, so now
and they will be.
you see the difference. You see the difference between.
Same way that the name Isho, which is the Eastern Syrian for Yeshua, was mistranslated as Isa because it's just
Mistranslated? By whom?
Misheard.
By whom?
Muhammad was the first person to call Christ Isa.
Wait. What do you think the Syriacs called him?
Isho.
No, Isho is not the same as Jesus, right?
It's not the same as
Which one is
Isa.
more close? Let's see which one is. Wait. Let's see which one is closer, Esau and Isa and Jesus. You tell me which is closer to Esau, Isa or Jesus?
Yeshua.
Yeah. So what is it?
Yeshua. Isho.
But what do you call Jesus?
I call him Jesus.
Exactly my point.
I can also call him Yeshua.
So which is more closer, Esau or Isa?
Oh God Almighty. Oh God.
What is God's name in the New Testament?
Yahweh.
There's no Yahweh in the New Testament.
His name is still Yahweh. He was given to Moses.
Do you remember the question I asked you? What's the name of God? Okay. If you tell him to be quiet, maybe you can hear. Can you tell James to be quiet? James, be quiet. All right, no, we are not listening to you. Okay, so the name of God in the New Testament is what?
Here is a joke here.
His name remains the
That's the
same
joke.
as the Old Testament.
Which is,
The joke of
Yahweh.
Islam.
where is that in the New Testament?
In Deuteronomy.
Show me.
The Old Testament.
No, in the New Testament, what's his name?
It didn't change.
What's his name then?
Yahweh.
It's not there in the New Testament, anywhere,
I get
Yahweh.
your point. I got you. I
Good.
got you. But it is there. When the angel says to Mary or whomever, he will be called Jesus because his name means Yahweh saves.
Emmanuel.
Jesus.
Oh, Yahweh saves. So Yahweh saves.
Who was he talking about? The milk?
Wait